No, but she gets like risen from the dead by it.
Jai, we're live, so stop talking about that thing you were just talking about. We're not supposed to talk about it.
Sorry. All right, we're good. We're live. All right. So before I get started, I just want to quickly demonstrate the main exploit in this game is like a speed exploit. So this is just what the game normally looks like. You move like a tank. This is tanks, by the way. This is BattleTanx.
Thank you.
Yeah, with an X at the end. Yeah, so this is the normal speed, and I'm going to be using something called neutral reset, which means I'm going to hold down on the joystick. I'm going to reset the neutral point to there. So when I don't touch it, I'm moving forward, and when I hold forward, I go much faster. So I'm just going to do that to beat the game fast. All right, so I'll quit out. And then you want to give me a countdown?
Yeah, sure. Okay,
Alright,
3, 2, 1, go.
That was good timing.
Thank you.
It's all part of the plan.
Bro doesn't even start. We're doing great.
We actually practiced that.
All right, so you play as a tank. As you go through the game, you get access to more tanks that you choose before each time. This is just the basic normal tank, I would call it. Doesn't really do anything spectacular. You kind of ditch it as soon as you get other options. But for now, you just use it to kill everyone on this level. The levels can pretty much be split into levels where you're killing everyone, you're driving to the end, or you're like rescuing prisoners. So that was a kill everyone. This is going to be a drive to the end. You can see you have a normal weapon, and you get special weapons that you can cycle through. After this level, I think I get access to a smaller, faster tank that's really weak, both in terms of health and firepower, but then you use the special weapons to kind of counteract that. And then you use that as often as possible, just because it's the fastest tank. Actually, I have one more with the Abrams. So this level introduces the concept of these spawn garages. They're these green garages that spawn tanks out of them. And since this is a kill everyone level, you want to kind of take care of those garages as soon as you can, because otherwise tanks will just keep spawning out of them. So I'm going to try and use these gas canisters to do the work for me. So I missed that one. Right. So this wall just doesn't kind of exist, so you can just shoot through it. So I just wanted to demonstrate real quick that the trains kill you if you go right in front of them. It's just a one-hit kill. I'll try to avoid doing that from now on, now that you've seen what it does.
I was actually going to ask about that, but thank you for answering my question.
Yeah, you got it, man. Yeah. I was practicing this commentary, so it worked out.
I do have a question though.
Let's hear it.
What is that symbol on the back of the tank?
My name is Griffin, so I have the symbol, which is like a griffin.
Is that a Harry Potter reference?
I think it's a Family Guy reference.
Highest tier of political
Commentary, yeah.
All right, cool. So now I'm going to switch over to that small tank, and it's perfect timing because it's a level that just has turrets everywhere that will just kill me very easily. So I'm going to work on dodging those. I didn't right there, but I'm going to work on it. It's not looking good, I'll say that much. All right, so I'm collecting prisoners. I'm going to shoot over at that. So on this level, once I get the prisoners, I don't need to go get them again, thankfully.
So this is with death blips.
Yeah. I just wanted to get back to the start real quick so I can take forever shooting this down without my special weapon.
after dying your weapon count resets.
Yeah, so I've lost my special. I'm going to pick up these shields so that I don't have to worry about dying anymore. I think there's swarmers right here, so I should be able to finish up better. All right. So now we're going to see what this tank looks like when it's going full speed, because I had taken off neutral reset for that level, just because there's a lot of places where I want to go backwards. And this introduces the fact that you can just shoot through walls by pushing up against them. And then hopefully we'll see if it works. No, it didn't. So on that ramp, you can get high enough air where if you shoot your tank, it propels you backwards over the wall. But you need to get enough air off the jump, which is pretty unreliable.
I have a question.
Let's hear it.
Will there ever be a use for diagonal neutral reset in this game?
No, because you're a tank, and tanks can't move diagonally. But that's a great question. Thank you. If you can find it, I'll donate to your Twitch channel.
What channel might that be? Why are you asking me?
All right, so
Not a degenerate.
naturally on this level you just need to find all the floppy disks in the White House. So I'm just going to blow up the White House to get the floppy disks, or whatever government buildings these are.
Yeah, where does this take place?
All over the world, actually. That was the big gimmick about this game, is we're going to go to Europe later, and all the worst levels are in Europe.
Did this come out before or after Twisted Metal?
Couldn't tell you.
This is global assault.
Yeah. So this is the first time I use this blue edge power, which never really gets explained. Sometimes it disables an enemy and makes them spin around in circles. Sometimes they just convert to your team. Sometimes it doesn't do anything. Right there, I used my added speed to fly into that area. Normally, you would need to use a turbo to get in there. I got a nuke. I killed myself because the nuke was going to kill me anyway, and I wanted to restart with a new tank. And then I went straight to the final boss with that tank. Thanks, man. Yeah, thank you. All right, so I'm going to die on this level. We'll see if I can play it off as being on purpose or not. But there's just a ton of mines, and these prisoners are just floating in the middle of the mines for some reason. Yeah, so that was on purpose.
Yeah, I believe you.
So this level, there's a few different ways to do it. The fastest way is to use the teleporter, these teleporter power-ups right here, which just teleport you to a random spot on the stage. So you just roll the dice and hope that it puts you where you want it to go.
What's the IL of this level?
It's what I just described. It's you just throw yourself at the mines until they don't kill you, and then you just keep pressing the teleporter until they put you in all these terrible places. Yeah, this is a pretty terrible place. I don't even know what to do when it puts you here. This is inconvenient because I'm going to want to demonstrate a glitch later on, so I'm going to have to backtrack a little bit. Because normally I have better weapons to kill that. So at this point I need to get all the prisoners and bring them back to the start now. So I've just gotten the 6th one. And then I want to demonstrate a little trick. Oh yeah, if you go up that ramp too fast, the game crashes. I didn't remember to slow down, but luckily it didn't. Thankfully it didn't crash. All right, so these tanks can fly. You just dip into the ground and then fly out.
That's impressive.
I think so. So I'm going back to full speed here. On this level, you just need to drive to the end of the bridge, but there's a ton of stuff in the way. There are boats shooting at me from the outside. From just straight up running into things? No. But then things like mines and whatnot will just screw you over. And these one-hit boxes at the end. All right, good. All right, so this is our introduction to the Inferno, which is the flamethrower tank. Using the flamethrower on this level is a little bit risky, but because these tanks on the outside are rhinos, they have shields in the front but are weak in the back, and they're also just weak anywhere to fire. So that's the only reason it's useful here, because this tank really can't do anything long range. So I get swarmers. There's 3 boats off the edge that I need to take down. The reason it's risky is because right here I need to just run over these mines and not take damage, because I'm going to need health at the end for the final boss. It's another one of these Annihilator tanks. You just kind of run into it and burn it to death with a lot of missiles as well. I don't remember what's next. Oh, right. So this is our introduction to the hover tank. Cool thing about this run is that you get to use a bunch of the tanks. It just works out that they're optimal, a bunch of ones. The hover tank is pretty similar to the normal Abrams tank in the beginning, with the advantage that you can hover over mines. I'm hurt.
Looks like this one could benefit from diagonal reset. You can actually move sideways.
So this one, you have two buttons that are kind of like quick turn when you're the smaller tank, and on this one it's strafe left to right, which comes in handy because I'm moving forward automatically, so that kind of cancels it out. But these are the mines that I would otherwise need to just take the damage from, but because you're the hover tank, you can just kind of go over them. So this is capture the prisoners and bring them back. All three of them are guarded. We use the blue to disable that Goliath and make my way back to my base. All right, so this is one of the longer levels because you go up to the Goliath, which is the slowest tank, but also the strongest and can take the most damage. The reason I like to use this one here is because there's a lot of those rhinos that I showed earlier that are weak to fire. But you're taking so much damage on this level that you kind of need the health, the added health from the Goliath. And the other thing is that the Goliath, you can just run into these tanks to kill them. Normally you can't, but with neutral reset you get enough speed that running into them just blows them up.
That was nice of them to think of that in this game.
Yeah, they programmed it with the exploit in mind. So I'm shooting these guys, throwing grenades at the same time to take down buildings. I'm blanking on the name.
3DO?
3DO, thank you. So I picked up some cloaking, which kind of comes in handy because over here it allows me to just run into these guys and they don't react to the fact that like the tanks across from them are just spontaneously blowing up. So early on I converted one of the tanks, mainly just to get him out of my way, but I was able to convert him to my team. And so I can just ignore a lot of the tanks that are roaming the middle of this level and just care about the ones that are blocked by buildings, because the guy that I converted is just taking care of all the trash in the middle. Because normally I would have to go and clear out the middle area now, but that's already done. All right, so this is a great level. You want to pay attention to the beginning, because you just kind of drive up here and shoot this thing and then it's over. Yeah, so they wanted to be cheeky by showing you the thing that you need to destroy in the very beginning, and then it's a long level where you need to actually get there. But then they let you shoot through walls, so you just kind of go up to it and shoot it. Yeah, but it was for a good cause. So this is the first of the two convoy levels, which is everyone's favorite. I need to protect these convoys. I don't even know what's inside. I think it's people. But they need to get to the end of this level. So I'm just choosing this tank because it has a lot of health, and the convoys move pretty slow, so I don't really need speed. And I'm just kind of taking care of these explosive barrels and mines and everything.
Is that the GoldenEye rocket launcher noise?
Yeah, it was. Cool.
Streets 112, baby. Yeah, dude.
All right, so the path is pretty much clear, and now you're just waiting for these really slow vehicles to get where they need to go. Which is, it's really what speedrunning's all about, I feel like.
Nice comfy auto scrollers.
Yeah. Yeah, this game is a bit front heavy because it's the record's right around 25 minutes. There's one level later on that's about 9 minutes long.
I'm not.
Yeah, so here's a minefield. So I'm just going to go into that. You just kind of throw yourself at it and hope you go in a straight line, like that. You know, I just want to take the safe route and blow myself up on that first line, make it easier for myself.
Exactly.
Yes, yes. The second and third pass through because I got to make my way back. So I'm going to convert that guy and hope that he, for whatever reason, just decides to run over the mines because that would clear another path for me. Instead, he's just spinning in circles.
We tried.
Yeah, I can't win. Oh, and the story on this is that one of these 3 children is my son that got kidnapped, and I don't know which one of them is my kid. So I just decided to take all 3 of them.
Wait, when did you lose them? Like a week ago? Or?
Something like that. They seem to just enjoy kidnapping very similar looking kids. Yes. So this is the other convoy level. I'm clearing the path for them. This one's actually easier than the last one because a lot of what's in the way is turrets, so it's just more predictable. And you also get a radar early on. Up here's a train that would blow up a convoy in one hit, but if you're able to make it so that the convoy doesn't get slowed down on anything, because if it runs into something, it just stops. But if nothing gets in its way, then it should be safe from the train. What's up? And so you're going to get the same time every time on these levels as long as the frontmost, either of the frontmost convoys has nothing in its way.
Is there any lag reduction in this game?
When you're getting down to ILs, yeah, I think so. The level where you're in the Inferno, it seems to slow down a lot with the Inferno, just because you're putting flames everywhere. So this is the longer level that I was talking about. So this is the kind of level where there's waves of enemies that come one after another. They're coming on the shore of San Francisco. You can probably tell from the scenery that it's San Francisco. Yes. I like to pass the time by shooting these beautiful buildings, but it's just, there's 4 boats and tanks occasionally come out of them and pose little to no threat to you at all. So it's really just 9 minutes to reflect on the fact that there's a difficult boss coming up in the final level.
Hey, Jai.
Hey, what's up?
I'm gonna go get a soda from the front desk. Do you want one?
Do we have any of those Mountain Dew USAs? No, can you get me some of those goldfish you were snacking on earlier?
Oh, yeah, here you go. Thanks.
Well, feed me.
No, I'm going to get a drink.
Thanks, man. That's enough for now. I'm satisfied. So under these buildings are power-ups. Let me finish my goldfish real quick. Under these buildings are power-ups, which one of them is gun buddies, which are just turrets that you can use. So I set them up on the far boat, so now I really only have to care about 3 boats. Talk about what? There will be a time to talk about Goof Troop. This is not it.
He's not happy.
I'm showing some restraint not talking about Goof Troop right now. But since this is so long and since you can just kind of do whatever you want, I think it's a good opportunity to demonstrate some of the things that aren't in the run. Like crashing the game on a ramp? No, I'll pass on that. But with these power-ups, I'm afraid not.
Just
If you get enough of a single power-up, you can use like a souped-up version of that power-up. So I'm just gonna kind of get everything. As far as I know, it doesn't really matter if you just have enemies, like you don't need to kill them as soon as they come out of the boat. You can just let them wander around if you want. There's never going to be enough of them for it to really matter. Let me see what I can demonstrate here.
Have a story to it, or is it just going on a bunch of random?
It's a really superficial story, just set up so that you can blow stuff up in tanks. Like I said, your son gets kidnapped, and so you just kind of destroy most of the world in an attempt to get him back. Like all the major cities.
Where'd you get your son back?
I did, yeah. I'm just destroying San Francisco for fun at this point.
You got 2 other sons in the deal.
Yes, that's true. I just claimed those other sons. All right, so let me set up my gun buddies, and then I'll demonstrate something for you. So let me see if it works if I have 20 now. So normally you can only shoot swarmers like 1 at a time, but if you have 20 or 15 or whatever and you hold it down, you just go nuts with swarmers. Let me see, I think you do the same thing with plasma bolts, which is pretty nuts. Grenades are really dumb for some reason. You throw what looks like a normal grenade, and then it turns into a giant grenade. It's never useful. Guided missiles, you get this really fat, slow guided missile. And now we kill that guy, and then I'll demonstrate some other tanks for you, because we haven't even seen the best tank in the game yet. It's really the only one I need to demonstrate here. So it's just this weird looking tank.
Treads instead of armor?
Yeah, it's kind of fast, but not fast enough to really use in the run. It just shoots normal shots like the Abrams. The only reason it's interesting is because it can do this. I don't know. All I know is the flippy tank is the best tank in the game. Yeah, they're trying to figure out how this tank is able to move this way. I don't want an explanation.
You want any more goldfish?
I'm okay, thank you. 1 goldfish was enough for me. No problem. I don't remember how many of these normally come out. This level would be all right if it was at least consistent. Like, it stinks, but it would be all right if it was the same length every time. This level can go anywhere from like 9 minutes and 10 seconds to 9 minutes and like 30 seconds. And so on the second to last level, you're just kind of hoping the game randomly doesn't add 20 seconds to your time. That's why you should stick to ILs if you run this game.
How do you feel about stretching the aspect ratio of IL videos to 16:9?
Always maintain the aspect ratio.
That's some goldfish.
Yeah.
This is BattleTanx.
this primetime marathon excitement right here, dude.
I won't try to make this exciting. The one thing I tell you is that water out there, you can drive on it. Not on this level, but on that level where I started flying by clipping into the ground. If you fly over the barrier and onto the water, you just drive on it.
Tanks are very important.
Yeah, and they don't really make any effort to hide it because you can bounce grenades on the water. And the bonus level, you're a boat, and they give you grenades, so they're well aware that you can do this. Wasn't overlooked.
Does the boat have treads on it?
No, it's just a normal boat. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Wait, does
It controls like a tank, though. Yeah,
Do you think that you can get out of bounds with the boat and drive on land?
I tried.
Yeah.
You can't, or at least it hasn't been found yet. So after this is the final level, which you just kind of drive straight to the final boss and shoot her. But there is shields slightly out of the way that I'm just going to grab. Because otherwise, if you don't kill her right away, she goes invisible and then you have to find her. And I don't have time for that.
Nobody does.
Nah, you don't want to see that. You want to see this.
Would having a lot of dudes on the map increase lag?
What's up?
Would it increase lag if there was a lot of people roaming the map trying to find you?
That's a good question because the other Goliath level starts out with a lot of people and it's not too bad. I think it's just what's on frame because when you shoot a lot of flames, they like slow the game down. But if you turn around and the frames aren't, or the flames aren't on screen anymore, you're fine. So it might only care what's actually on screen. This is a long one.
I gotta let you know I'm on the edge of my seat right now.
Good. Because the number of enemies that you need to kill isn't consistent either, so I can't even say like I need to kill one more. It just kind of ends at some point. Like these guys see all the tanks in front of them just getting blown up immediately, and they just take their time coming out and doing it anyway. At your leisure, fellas. It's a great speed game and you should run. Okay, there we go. I did it. Alright, so this is the final level. It's relatively short, so time is coming up somewhat quickly. I think this, oh no, I used the Rattler before, but the Rattler is just it's slightly slower than that tiny tank, but it's got more health and more firepower. So we use it to drive to the end boss here, and then we just run into her and shoot her. Time coming up. Time, fellas.
Yeah.
I did it.
Attorney Burks.
Yes, that is to play the boat level. You will not get to see it. I'm not doing the boat
Not
level.
lying.
How do you guys feel about BattleTanx? Let's have a discussion.
I
love tanks.
What was the message about tanks, though? What did it
Tanks
mean?
are good, I think, is the main
That's
message.
the feel I got
This
too.
compares to World of Tanks. Or other Army of Tanks.
BattleTanx trumps all.
How do you feel about Law and Order?
Law and Order is a great show.
Yeah.
Love me some Dick.
Are you original SVU or Criminal Intent?
Criminal Intent, easy.
Straight law.
That guy is just such an odd actor. Let's talk about Law and Order for the rest
you
of the night.
were the good guy or the bad guy by the end of this game?
I destroyed San Fran, so I think I'm a good guy.
It's like the
Yeah.
SpongeBob thing when he says, "Look, I
And
just,
friends.
Do you
saved
think
everybody
Law and
the
Order
cops on fire."
SVU? Do you think Law and Order SVU would be the superior show if it had tanks?
It's missing tanks.
Battle.
CFP, are you up next?
Yeah.
Would you rather talk about Law and Order than do your run?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know the
Thanks, y'all.
Criminal Intent was same person's private
Can use the
file.
same
Yeah.
AV